Hi there. Our meditation for this is going to be very simple. To take some slow, steady breaths in and out, releasing stress as we exhale. Now we're going to regulate our breathing by counting to 4 on the in-breath, pausing for 4 before we exhale, counting to 4 as we exhale, pausing for 4 before we inhale. This is called squared breathing. I'm going to do it with you. Inhale for 4. Okay. After doing a few rounds, return to breathing normally. The next thing we want to do, take our left hand and move it over to our right knee and then return it. Take our right hand, move it over to the left knee and return it. And now we're going to count to 20 as we do this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale completely. And resume normal breathing. We have now synced both sides of our body, both hemispheres of our brain. And as we go into the reading, we set the intention for this or something better, meaning we will not be limited by what we encounter in the reading, that we will only use it for our highest good and the highest good of all. And if there is something better, we wish to line up with that. Okay? And let us begin. Hey there. Chose reflection number 1. Okay. Let's see what your cards say. Attitude. Bird perched. Waiting for news, package, or letter. Marriage. Love. Got Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus, I guess is how I'm going to pronounce it. It's that other constellation that surfaced one day. It was probably always there. Natal chart experience. What this usually tells me is this is something that we could see clearly in your astrology chart. Crescent moon. Neptune. Maybe not so clearly. Neptune represents a sort of etheric energy, and it can be very unclear and confusing. We got Concordia, which is the energy of love in like a best friend type way. And then we got Saturn. Wow. Let's see what else. Surrender. Rest. Are taking inspired action. You are on your highest path. And you are honoring darkness. That means if there's something came to mind, what just flashed in my head is an example from my own life where I was thinking about how I would handle a certain situation, which, in the first place, here I was planning ahead when I'm trying to be in the moment. But, so it was. I let my mind kind of take off into a little scenario, and I was like, oh, if this happened, oh my gosh, if this happened, then I would have to do this. And then I like imagined myself having to threaten somebody to get the results that I wanted. And it had to do with care of one of my children. And so I felt like, all justified and ferocious. And this is all just imagined, okay? And then I just like looked at my, my own self, my own thoughts, and I just thought, isn't that funny? Here I am being in the moment, surrendering to spirit, and understanding that right now in my journey, the best thing for me to do is to look to spirit to be guided. And this part of me that wants to control things and thinks it has to be just the way I want it is still like there as an option if I ever wanted to use it, And that's what honoring darkness is like. It's like I noticed it and I said, oh yeah, isn't that interesting? That is still always a possibility for me if I choose it. And that's a darkness within me, right? I get to choose whether I act in the light or the dark. That is a choice. And I honor in myself that is a choice. Like, I'm not just love, light, and rainbows. I also have the ability to go dark if I want to, and I can honor that about myself. It's not like the part of me that had that little imagery happen. I don't hate her. I don't dislike her. I'm not disowning her. She's part of me. She can be with me. I understand her. That kind of thing. Okay. So I'm not saying that your example is something like that, but I'm saying like there may be something that you might consider dark that you're honoring for yourself, or you might just do that in general about yourself. New start is coming. What do you need to release? Power. Unplug and relax for a spell. And we got surrender, so I'm going to put those cards together. Always after the tower, we get a new beginning. So I'm going to put that over there too. Dragons. Slay them all. I'm going to put that with honoring darkness. Got avoidant, abuse of authority, and insecurity. We got the Seven of Cups. We got the Page of Cups in reverse. You have options. The Eight of Pentacles in reverse. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse. King of Swords in reverse. I mean, I kind of want to, what I want to say already is this reading could be about holding back your feelings. And if so, that is be why you would want to honor darkness. It's like, okay, you can avoid the whole situation, or you can know that you could handle yourself if it didn't go the way, if it didn't go in a way that you felt protected, you know, you could protect yourself. Like, let me get the rest out and see what direction we want to go in with this. There's some other way to see something. The thing you've been seeing in yourself in darkness, and maybe you've been honoring, it might be something that you can alchemize now. But let's see. Sensual expression, desire. Okay, an ending. We're going to put that over with surrender and new beginnings. Playful approach. Get it done. Something you got to do. You know you have to do it. Saying lighten up, but do it. It's an experience that you were meant to have, even if it's kind of difficult. You know, even if you would have, you might realize that it actually brings up all your insecurities and your avoidance, and you might want to abuse your authority instead. Music, dance, Hermes, Fool, Tricks, Fox, Daughter, Goodbye to the old, hello to the new. And I'm going to put that over there, surrender. Take responsibility for your actions. Yep. That with get it done. There's some change to a long-time structure, something that's been held up for a while by you, and it's ready to be understood more. It's ready to be cleared up. It's ready to be integrated and kind of alchemized. The other side of it is something you desire, so that's a clue for what it is. And you know there's something standing in your way. So that thing that's standing in your way is what needs to be dealt with. Maybe it's a part of you that you've been indulging in, you know, using certain tactics to relate to other people that you know is insincere and you know is not, has no intimacy and isn't fair. It's like playing people, really. It's like playing people. I don't think you're doing it as like a ha ha, I'll get them. I think you just wanted to protect a part of you that isn't feeling safe to be vulnerable. But if you can protect that part of you, then you don't have to mistreat people. And you'll break this cycle. And we have daughter here, so it could be your own inner child. It could be, if you have a daughter, it could be your inner feminine. But there is like, you know, a reason bigger than you even to honor this for yourself and break the cycle of it. You're unable to offer pure love. It's you stick to the options you have to keep yourself in a cycle of not having to do the hard work, or it doesn't even have to be hard work. Not even doing the work to release this thing or alchemize it or straighten it out. And because of that, your stability is up in the air. And that and like you might be framing it like, "Oh, well, I have options," because you're not completely stuck and stable in one particular thing. But actually, the reason why your foundation is being shook is so that you are forced to change this thing. There may be a change of households. There may be some sort of message you need to deliver. So this feels like it threatens your security, and that's why you've been avoiding it. Underworld, we got Pluton. Discard. So, I want to honor this. Like, I want to say, this is a pattern that has existed on Earth, in our relating dynamics. And you may have even been pointed at and called a narcissist if you have these kind of patterns. It's not necessarily so. What I'm trying to acknowledge for you is that this is probably a very difficult pattern to break, because you may have adapted in such a way that the emotions are kind of buried, suppressed, denied so long that they're not on the surface. It's hard to kind of access them. And that is one of the things that's anchoring in the patterns. It's the avoidance of feeling those emotions. But now, even if you chose to want to feel them, it might be hard to kind of dig them up. But there is a way to do it. You just got to go and do the thing that you have been avoiding to do. Those emotions will come up. You're still a human. Pluton. The invisible forces contained in the mysterious realm are now working at the root level of your life, and you can co-create your future or contribute to a transformation in your infrastructure and potential if you choose. Unseen power, capable of epigenetic change, is available for your use. If you choose, unseen power capable of epigenetic change is available for your use. The Pluton's wealth and riches may be yours in time. It's saying this foundation that's wobbly right now, that's up in the air, that you feel like, oh yeah, you have options. It's like, yeah, we're doing that because you must change. And so in order to rebuild, it's saying the potential is great for wealth and abundance, but you've got to deal with this thing. The thing that's crumbling, the thing that you are ready to begin, is meant to be rooted not in your fear, not in your coping mechanisms, but in the truth of your heart. It has to do with love and may lead to marriage. Marriage might be the thing that's been crumbling for some of you, but it's not off the table, But it could be that the marriage you're in, if that resonates for you, if that's not something that's been true or happening, to you, then don't take that part of it. What do you need to release? It's a pattern, and it's a pattern of action that you take. You can be more playful as you get this done. It doesn't have to be so serious, You can laugh at yourself a bit. I think that the reason why we got told that you're taking inspired action, that you're on your highest path, and that you're honoring darkness is because it's important for you to remember that this is part of why you came, this process that you're going through now. You're not a victim to this. This is something that you're learning from. You're learning something that you wouldn't have otherwise known. So Move in the direction of your highest excitement, not your avoidance, not your fear. Move in the direction of your highest excitement. And we got some music and dance and free here. And then it's like if you're busy strategizing and scheming and tricking people and, stuff like that, just to entertain yourself, it's like maybe you can flip that around and do something more, or less harmful to others, we'll say. It's safe to do what you're inspired to in a playful manner, even if it is honoring darkness. The path is not always clear ahead right now because you are talking about Neptune. There's a lot of releasing, integrating, and bringing yourself into a space of faith. Faith isn't something I can give you, And if you don't have any, I understand that you can't just decide to have some, right? But can you surrender? Because you can't control it. So can you surrender? Give it to whatever whatever you want to call it. Universe, God, source. There is a new beginning. And how you experience this whole process of ending some stuff and beginning some other stuff is up to you. That's where your free will comes in, how you want to experience it. So I would say keep taking inspired action. You're being recognized for that. You can be playful. You don't have to feel so serious or, like it's life or death or anything like that. You're dealing with some darkness stuff, but sometimes there's some humor in that. And it can be scary, but the only part that's scary is the part of you that is feeling overwhelmed by having to feel the emotion, or the part that doesn't know what to do even though you feel like you should do something. Do what is the next most exciting thing to you. That's what you should do. In so doing, you will face these parts of yourself that are avoidant, that want to abuse your authority, that are insecure. Those parts need your love. Those parts are coming with you. They're not to be disowned. You can allow them to be with you as you go forward. That's going to complete your reading. Hey there. You chose reflection number 2. See what we got here. So I'm going to put these on to wipe them down a little bit first. Spiritual love. Depression, anxiety, worry that someone is against you. Fear-filled, someone new entering your life. Arrow, you are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. Virgo, Themis, Seconds, Persicus, Alice, and Clytia. Interesting. Those are from my astrology oracle. There are some asteroids and some like seconds tells me it's the part of the degree where it's just about, it's relevant on timing is relevant, it kind of tells me. And Narcissus, Pallas, Themis, and Clytia are asteroids that have certain energies. Some of them are associated with mythologies you might have heard of. But Clytia's is unrequited love. And we got spiritual love here. Pull some more cards, though, to see what's up. I think I have to look up Themis every time it comes out in a reading. I got freedom. So I'm going to look up Themis. I think it's wisdom. She's one of the fates or something. No? I don't know. Themis. Yep, justice. Okay. The scales of justice. Alice, Athene recognizes patterns. Virgo energy is very detail oriented. It's the Virgin. It's sort of meticulous and cleanliness is pertaining to Virgo energy. Narcissus fell in love with himself, his own reflection. We got balance. Okay, now how you're doing in this right now. Roaming aimlessly, out of your control. You do have some free will that can be enacted. There's more to know. Find out more. Communication is key. You're very close to achieving your goal. Stars, you can manifest your every wish. Protest, start a revolution. Interesting, because I don't know, one of the things that I come across sometimes in like my feed on social media, as I look at tarot readers and things like that, there are some spiritualists that talk about manifesting a significant person, a specific person. And in the past, I've always kind of thought, like, well, I don't really get that because other people do have free will, right? You honor their free will. But then there's these teachings about how everything is a reflection of you. The person shows up in your reality how you expect or believe they will, which I get because I have also experimented with not, trying to manifest my significant person or a specific person for myself, but definitely with someone that I was having an issue with. I would just clear up that issue in my energy, forgive them, forgive myself, and then, hold space for them to act in a higher manner with love. And then they do. They show up different in my reality. And I've done that so many times that I know that that works. So kind of feel like there's something like this going on here where you're learning something about, okay, I just heard, what is the key element that would make the difference between a love that is requited and a love that is unrequited? What is the key? Because if you can manifest someone to show up in your reality how you want them to, except you can't, then what's the difference? What's the thing, right? I don't know. I mean, this to me is kind of a foreign topic. I'm not an expert on this, so let's just try to get through this reading together and see what else. See if I can learn something. Inflated self. It feels like only an inflated self would try to make someone love you. Like, you know? Doesn't seem right. But if it is your reality and you're creating your reality, why wouldn't you have the people around you love you? But I just, maybe it's a belief that I have that keeps me from that. It feels like it's a disrespect to others. But let's see. 6 wands. Power in reverse. 2 of wands in reverse. I feel like you're holding on to some sense of victory that isn't victory. This is a confusing one for me, just so you know. 6 of cups. Nostalgia, and then the chariot in reverse. We got compassion, curious. You got me curious. Completion of a cycle. So if you're on a timeline where there's unrequited love with a significant person that you want requited love with, you got to leave that timeline. You got to go to the timeline where they are your significant person. Oh, okay. So you complete the cycle of on the timeline where they're not. Forgive her. Drama triangle. Okay, so there may have been some outside influence here that interfered with a spiritual process or relationship or blocked emotions and make a plan. Win-win. Gathering, loving, sharing many tender hearts. Knowledge, helpful, kind friend. Walk away. Whom do you need to forgive? We got forgive her. All right, so I guess I'm just going to have to say what I think, right? Remoteness. This is from the Greek mythology deck, so I'll read the book on that. And then appreciate your talents. Remoteness. Yes. Entirely fresh view of things might allow imaginative ideas to flourish. Try mentally reaching into the remote starry heavens for answers and then bring the idea to earth as Uranus did. Card represents a distant potential that is so far removed from the present that it is hard to imagine and has yet to take form. A remote concept or ideal for future that is far away in time and space where the Greeks believed perfection lay. Okay, so there's a vision here. Being asked to separate your emotions from the issue and look at things from a new perspective. You might not be able to see it clearly yet. So you need to make a plan and organize your thoughts and find out more. Okay? Follow your curiosity, ask the questions, like ask and you shall receive, right? This, of course, is going to give your roaming an aim. Your aim is to find clarity, to organize your thoughts. Inflated sense of self might come in here when you think it's already done, or you think it's not that important, or you think that you don't really have to do anything to have this success. Like you think that you're already victorious, that you don't have to do anything to make it happen. And this is saying, like, someone might have told you that. You might have been entertaining those kind of thoughts, but in actuality, there is something for you to do. And you maybe been avoiding doing it because it involves upgrading your timeline. And upgrading your timeline may involve letting go of unrequited love. Yep. Someone who only loves you when it's convenient. Someone who is not reciprocal. Who doesn't make you feel free. Who you're worried is against you. You know, you have a sense that something's off here. You might have already started to suspect this. Someone who is in love with their own reflection. You've seen the patterns, you've looked at the details, and the timing is now. What's out of your control is whether or not they love you, whether or not they do the work, whether or not they show up in a way that would be an actual victory for both of you. Start a revolution. Okay. So it's like don't sell yourself short. Don't sacrifice yourself. There is a friend around or coming in that will be helpful and beneficial to you. The scales need to be balanced here. Things are out of balance. You need to walk away from someone and forgive them at the same time. You know, you're not forgiving them like, oh, poor me, I was a victim to them. You're forgiving them for not being the version that can go with you to the next timeline. They're just not. Whether they were going to be or not is not really the thing at this point, because this version of them is not. So if they're meant to do that work for themselves, then go to that timeline without them, right? Like you're going to another timeline is like you passing through the tip of a needle, you know? Like you can't, you're usually not going together. It's usually a tandem thing. Like, here I go. Oh, I'll meet you there. Here I go. Let's, you know, it's like, gotta go. So you may need to make a plan for an exit and for a parting of the ways. And the reason is because this person likely has been relating with you in the drama triangle, which is victim, savior, persecutor. So if they've been playing the savior, and you're the victim, they probably aren't going to like it when you step out of that victim role. If you've been the savior and they've been the victim, they're probably not going to like it when you step out of that savior role. So they're at risk of turning into the persecutor real quick when you make an end to this. And that's why you might want to make a plan. What are your weaknesses? You know, like be prepared to cover yourself where your weaknesses are when you do this. That's part of making a plan. And this is so that you can complete the cycle and restore balance. Because only with balanced energy, neutral energy on these topics, are you able to go forth to that new timeline where, by the way, your wishes are fulfilled and you do have true victory. You can't go without making this decision you've been putting off. Okay, you have real talent here. And you are going to bring something to earth that is probably considered ahead of your time. It's probably a genius solution. It's really important, you know? If you resonate with some of those things I was saying earlier about, you know, manifesting a version of your person that would be the version that you want them to be, like, if that was something you were going to do, you can't do it from this timeline, is what these cards are saying. And if it's something that you've been trying to do, maybe it cannot be done. Maybe that's not why you're here. Maybe some people can do it because they're meant to do it, and maybe you're not, you know? Like I would say, I'm definitely living in some other, you know, way where I'm honoring the sovereignty of other people to make their choices. Like I would never put a spell on someone and try to make them be something. I would put forth my intention to repair relationships and then be delighted when we experience a much more pleasant way of relating. That I would do, you know? So you can use what skills you have and talent you have to make this happen for yourself. But planning ahead is one of them, right? Virgo can kind of pay attention to all the details. You have that energy available to you. There's something new, a revolution, right? Like this is going to be new and needed and appreciated. And what's got to happen is leaving something behind, and if it's not a person altogether, it could be a way of relating with them. A way of thinking that it's already been done when it's not done. You didn't do it yet. You're out of balance. You have an inflated sense of self. So you didn't do the thing yet. Okay? Now, the part of you that hurts when I say that, if you get triggered, that's a part that you want to acknowledge, validate why you feel that way, right? I've done this, this, and this. What do you mean I'm inflated? Blah, 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 you know? Validate why I'm wrong, why you're right. Accept that this is where you're at. Like, this is the energy that you have and that you are needing to neutralize. And then be present with how you feel when I say that. When I say you have an inflated sense of self and they haven't done it yet, and you feel invalidated, right? Like, how does it feel? Be present with that feeling. So be present without wishing it was different, without thinking about the past or the future, without blaming anyone else. You're just letting that feeling be with you. And you're not pushing it away. You're becoming the version of yourself that can handle that feeling, that can process that feeling through. And eventually, this feeling, this energy that the feeling is, will start moving again. And because you've accepted this is where you're at, you don't have any resistance to it moving again, and it'll move on through you. And then you will become the version of yourself that is not coping by trying to avoid that feeling, that is not offended when somebody has that view of you, that just behaves in such a way without that hindrance of avoiding, feeling that way, avoiding feeling inferior or insecure or whatever it is you feel that you're or that you've been avoiding to feel. It's like a fake it till you make it that stuck on fake it mode. And actually you have something to do to make it. You have something to do. And because you're stuck on the fake it mode, you're not doing it. And you may have some distractions. Sorry, I know I shouldn't talk when my face is away from the microphone, so I'll repeat that. And you may have some distractions. Okay? Okay, so how exciting that you are moving up to this other timeline. It may take some bravery to do so, to proceed forward with what you need, you need to do. And it looks like it'll be worth it. Okay, that completes your reading. Hi, you chose reflection number 3. I was laying out the cards because I was going to lay them out before I started recording, but I just started to get some stuff. So you may have some good news coming, but because of the good news, that may cause you some issue. Like maybe someone else would be jealous or something like that. Because we got someone may gossip about all your secrets, and we got the solid foundation, success with efforts. So we got tower. So something might be revealed about another person or the situation you're in when you have some sort of good news. We got Icarus, Libra, Nessus, Vertex. This is a fated event. Moon might not be all clear right now. 0 degrees because you're a pioneer. This is a new way to do something. There's some tension here, though, that's causing you to want to do it. And the truth will come out. You got success, peace, have faith. You're being asked to spend more time in nature and recognize that you do have some conditions on love. So you're not in like Christ consciousness, you're not in unconditional love. There's some conditions on love. So that might be the conditions that need to be present in order for you to feel love towards others. Like maybe you're making hoops for others to jump through without even realizing it, or maybe you've done that for yourself. Like I'll only be lovable when I lose 20 pounds, Your dreams need a practical plan. Look at the bigger picture. The answers you need are coming. Okay, we did say moon energy. There could be some things that are unclear. Villain, you can always rewrite the story. Well, and it might be that the secrets that are shared are rewritten. Like they're not actually real secrets of yours. Like the gossip could be actual, like false. Universe, we're all just stardust. PTSD, defense, uninspired, depression, powerlessness, and self-sabotage. Okay. So you may have noticed some repeating cycles of self-sabotage in yourself. You may also notice that you feel uninspired at times, and that could be a repeating cycle as well. And these have to do with some of the traumas from your past. Let's see. Ace of Cups. 3 of Pentacles in reverse. 4 of Cups in reverse. Justice. Distance travel, dance, family creation. Dog, best friends, spiritual guidance, financial restraint, work it out, open heart, emotionally fulfilled, completion, undercover for a good cause, Marriage, divine union, balance, sunset. Wishes come true. If you build it, they will come. New opportunity, new plans. Alchemize, healer, transmute. Let go. Travel again. Apollo, god of light. I'll read the book on that. And trust your intuition. See what the book says about Apollo. If dark has descended and you are battling a serpent right now, you can be assured that Apollo is on his way. Everything about the sun's energy is considered positive and rejuvenating, so hope will be restored and you should enjoy affirmation and confidence in all you do. Lucky Apollo is now ready to assist you in any circumstances requiring skill, ingenuity, strength, and stamina. He will cast light, awarding you understanding and determination. Okay. So the things that you don't understand will become clear to you, and I think you have faith in this. Spending more time in nature will help things become clear. I think for the most part you really are calm and collected, and you may have worked a lot on things like the self-sabotage and the traumas and things from the past. There might still be some things, repressed. But I feel like you maybe have done a lot of work and you're prepared to take things as they come, meaning something that's repressed, when it comes up, you'll deal with it then. So I feel like this is giving you a heads up, like you might have some conditions on love. And asking you to work through it. Write the story. So there's a plan that you need to make. It has to do with something really practical. If you don't have the conditions on love, maybe someone has them on their love of you. And maybe the gossip that happens is like, something where you're being judged or something, right? You're not living up to some expectation that someone has of you, and it could be someone that you consider a really close friend. Someone that you do love. And there may be a need to work through it. There may be a need to work through it. But it's not really giving that. It's giving like you are learning to become more clear. You are learning, what do I do when I'm not very clear? What do I do when I think someone's against me and I'm not really sure? What do I do when I think someone's turned against me? What do I do when someone I love isn't doing something very loving? What do I do when, there's part of me that wants to move forward, but I don't know what to do? It's like that. It's like, can you love yourself through all those states? That's an important thing. Love yourself through all those states. Whether you're dealing with somebody who loves you, who's turned on you, who's betraying you, who's telling your secrets or not. Because this reading isn't able to tell you the answers, right? Because the whole point of where you're at in the journey right now is learning to deal with these type things yourself. Like, what works for you? You know, what works for you when you are unclear and you can't see clearly? You don't know, but you know something's off, right? What do you do? What do you do to get to the truth? Ask and you shall receive. You can ask. You can use cards. It's a matter of building your own skills to handle this situation. It's not a matter of like, me telling you about what the answer is or what's really going on. But what I can tell you is that as you work through these things, you are becoming that version of yourself who can handle all those things, who is very competent and confident, and who does have unconditional love for self, who is at peace even in those type situations, right? Like even when, a best friend is gossiping, or when you feel misunderstood by someone that you love and care about, or even when you've realized that you've self-sabotaged yourself, or that you've been putting a lot of investment into something that isn't really inspiring to you. What do you do when you feel really powerless? Because you can't change other people, you can't control whether they believe the rumor or not. You're powerless to change it. What do you do when that's the case? Can you love yourself through that? Through the fears that everyone's going to turn against you or laugh at you or any of that? I mean, the answer is yes, you can get through this. And the version of you that goes through this is the version of you that will carry you to where you're going. Undercover for a good cause, right? It's not clear. You're figuring it out. You're the detective. And it's for a good cause because in doing so, it's like you're exercising certain skills and ways of thinking and tools and ways of divining information. If you build it, they will come. A new opportunity, new plans, right? This card also said marriage and divine union. And you may have heard me say that, but it also says balance and sunset. And so, the rest of the reading wasn't really about a marriage or divine union, but you can be coming into a marriage or divine union of your masculine and feminine energies, right? Within yourself, they can be very balanced and working together very well, which is when you hear your intuition, you trust it, and then you take action based on it. So your feminine energy is your intuitive knowing and understanding, and the masculine energy within you takes the action based on that knowledge. So you get these two working together very well. It's important not to suppress and deny all the pains that you feel based on any betrayals, based on any conditions on love others put on you, right? It's important to love those parts of yourself that feel a way about that, right? Instead of getting defensive, instead of repressing it and pretending it doesn't matter, it matters. It hurts. Acknowledge that. Validate why it hurts. Accept, here you are, you have some hurts. And then be present with those hurts. And when I say be present with it, it's like one at a time, whatever the hurt is, you're going to not think about the past or the future, be with it in the moment. And then not blame anyone else, not push it away, not wish it was different. You're going to let it be with you for as long as it needs. And in so doing, you will become the version of yourself that can process that feeling. When you are the version of yourself that can process that feeling, these feelings are not going to be avoided. You can maintain your balance through any experience that might flag those type of feelings to come again. You have already perfected and become the version of yourself that can handle those. So it's not going to throw you off, and you're not going to have to avoid it, and you're not going to have to repress. You're not going to have to defend yourself, because the truth of the matter is you can't control them. They can think what they want. You know? All your energy goes to loving this version of yourself, who might be sad when people are misunderstanding you. Okay, acknowledge that. Validate why you're sad. Accept that you're sad. Be present with the sadness. Now you're going to be a person that can process sadness. And doing these things are the skills that you need to really move forward in your life. It's like they're like second nature going forward, right? Because you've done them. Because you were forced to do them to navigate this section of your life. I think like the reason why you're able to do this now is because you have done so much already, and you are really at peace, and a success is assured. Like you have everything that it takes. Even be inspired to do things a new way, right? That's, I think, why I felt hesitant to even walk you through that formula for healing, because I do think it's potential here for you to come up with your own way that works for you, that might, inspire you to be sharing it with other people who it will also help, because you have a unique perspective, and you know what works for you by trial and error, by experiment, So it's kind of like saying, like, this little group of stuff that you're going through right now, that you're working through, is for the purpose of strengthening yourself, getting really good, honing your skills, and trying out some new things, some healing methods, some tools, It really is like that. It's like, you got this, so here's a little chunk to work on. See what you can do with that. It's like clay, except it's traumas to heal. And you're going to just like see do I use the chisel here? Or, maybe there's something that I'm inspired to by something someone said. Or I ask this question, I'm led to a piece of information. With that understanding, now maybe I want to try this. Okay, that's really exciting. Okay, so I would say that you're on a timeline here, having been put in this position to have to deal with these. You're on a higher timeline, even though you're like, I have all these challenges. No, this is a higher timeline, because now you're going to be doing that with your challenges. Okay? This completes your reading.